Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NFL Week 5 running back picks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NFL, NBA, and MLB videos. If you haven't already, go check out our new website at www.dfscheatsheet.com. We have all the tools, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, everything that you need to help you compete with the pros day in and day out. So check it out at www.dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
I'm good, man. Ready to get this video done.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got some really, really good running back plays for you. Not going to spend too crazy of a time and kind of ramble on. So let's just get into this. I'll get it started off. We'll go with the guy who I think is going to be ultra chalk this week. Is going to be Todd Gurley. I really like Todd Gurley this week. The guy's just, he's an absolute monster. He's the best running back in the league right now. In my opinion, the team's using him that way as well. He's getting pretty much everything that he wants, he's getting as far as, rushing attempts, passes, etc. He gets a matchup against Seattle this week, a defense who isn't very good. So real quick, we'll start with Gurley. He's second in the league in total touches, just behind Kamara. He's averaging 20 carries a game, 5 targets a game. He's third in the league with 532 total yards. He has the most touchdowns in the league with 6. The Rams are a 7-point favorite in this game, so I definitely think they could get up and run the ball against Seattle. And then, Seattle's defense is also averaging 5 yards per rush attempt this year. So I definitely think this is a really good spot for Gurley to have a solid game this week.
Yeah, man, Gurley's in a good spot. Anybody going against Seattle is in a good spot. This is a week also at running back where there's not a lot of depth at running back. And, it's a lazy week, right? You got to really do your research to figure out where the best plays are. And I just don't think a lot of people do a ton of research. I think there's a lot of plug-in plays. Todd Gurley going against Seattle is a really easy pick for people to go to. I think it'd be a popular play and really cash game safe.
Yeah, definitely. So who you got for us?
So I'm gonna go with the first guy I'll list off is Aaron Jones at 6,100. He's not got a ton of action, and in my opinion, he's the running back that Green Bay's been looking for a long time. You can go back to having guys like Eddie Lacy and picking up running backs from here and there, trying to convert a receiver to running back in Montgomery. I think they finally got a running back. Detroit's just not very good against the run. If you look at the guys and the amount of rush attempts and the yards that these guys have got against Detroit this year, you look at week 1, Crowell, 10 rushes, 102 yards, breaks off a huge run. You got Bilal Powell in that same game, 12 rushes, 60 yards. Then they play the Patriots. Sonny Michel goes for 14 rushes, he gets 50 yards. James White only carries it 4 times, 37 yards. The 49er game, Bridia goes off. He gets only on 11 carries, and he gets 138 yards rushing. Everybody saw Zeke go 25 times last week for 157 yards, not to mention what he brought to the table from a receiving standpoint. My point is that Aaron Jones may be a guy who may not get a 20 to 25 carry game in the offensive scheme that Green Bay runs, but Detroit's so bad against the run. Every running back that's played Detroit hasn't needed 20 to 25 carries to go off. Look at Zeke carried it 25 times, but as we know, Zeke is the offense for the Dallas Cowboys. You look at the other guys, Brady, 11 for 138, Crowell, 10 for 102. They're 31st in the league in rush yards and rush defense, giving up 157.8 yards per game. They're just not good.
Giving up chunks. That's what it really comes down to in the run game. Yeah, no, I like Jones a lot. We heard what DFS five pack Ryan was talking about earlier today. He's a Green Bay fan, so he lives right down the road from the stadium. He gets all the inside information that we don't necessarily hear. And he was telling us that even Aaron Rodgers was telling the coaching staff that they need to get Aaron Jones the ball more often. The guy's the truth, and if Aaron Rodgers is pumping up the guy, then I'm a firm believer in the guy. You know, you just talked about how bad Detroit's defense was against the rush. Yeah, so I'm on board with the Aaron Jones pick. I think that he's a really good play this week. So I'll go to my next one. I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers. McCaffrey, I mean, we played him in week 1, bro, and he busted on us. And we're like, oh, shit, he's not the guy that everybody's been pumping him up about. And you know what? After that, he kind of really picked it up after week 1. You know, he's coming off a bye week. You know, the week before they went against Cincinnati. He absolutely torched them. He got the carries that we thought that they were going to get. He got 28 carries for 184 yards. You know, the Giants, you know, his opponent this week, they're not very good against the rush. They're allowing 4.8 yards per carry to running backs. So I like McCaffrey a lot this week. He's 5th in the league in targets as well for running backs, and he has one less week than every other running back. So the guy's right there with the targets he's going to get weekly. The only knock on him is that he hasn't got into the end zone, and I definitely think this is a week that he could get into the end zone. The guy's just getting too much you know, touches between runs and passes to not get in the end zone. He's getting some red zone usage. You know, the biggest thing with him is we always talk about running backs getting sharked by their backups, etc. But in McCaffrey's case, he always gets sharked by Cam Newton. Cam Newton runs the ball a lot in the red zone. And that's kind of the part about it. But, you know, McCaffrey's going to get some touchdowns this year. And I definitely think that he's in a good spot to get one this week going against the Giants.
The thing for me about McCaffrey is it's not the touches, right? It's not the touches or the opportunities. He's going to get touches. He's going to get opportunities. They're very thin with weapons with Carolina and surrounding. They did, you know, I mentioned in the defensive video, they did add a piece defensively that should help him out. But Christian McCaffrey for running backs, his total red zone opportunities this year, he has 9 red zone opportunities. And that to me is he's going to have to break something in order to score, I think. You got Cam Newton, and when you got Cam Newton, the guy's a physical specimen. I like McCaffrey. I'm just not really excited to play McCaffrey. He doesn't, especially with Gurley and Melvin Gordon above him. I'm just not excited to play him this week. I get to play for cash, I guess, but this is one guy that I'm really just not excited to play because I just don't see him getting red zone carries. And I'll go back to what I said after we did play him and he did bust. I think I was just wrong, to be honest with you, because not to play week 1, but I thought that when they went back and looked at the tape, they'd see that the fumble he had on his first red zone opportunity was just a good play by a defender. But to me, it looks like they don't trust him in the red zone. He's a smaller guy. He's not a red zone banger between tackles. He's an electric running back who gets on the perimeter, can catch passes, etc. He'll have to prove me wrong before I play him in tournaments because he's going to have to bust something or have a big play. Not that he's not capable of doing that. I just can't count on him getting any red zone touches and getting the easy 2-yard score or 3-yard score.
Right. I get what you're saying for sure. I like the uses that he has. I definitely think he gives you a solid floor.
Well, that's the difference too between that's a good difference between a cash play and a GPP play. To me, the floor is there. The upside is what I don't know if that upside is there yet, especially until he gets some more red zone opportunities and actually gets a carry, you know, at the +5 and drives it in the end zone. So for me, I get the cash game play. I'm just not excited to plug him into tournament lineups this week. I think there's a lot of really good tournament spots this week at cheaper price points. But for cash, I totally get the play.
Go ahead. So who you got for us?
So I'm going to go a guy that I think is a really good tournament play, and this is kind of my floor guy for tournaments, and it's Melvin Gordon. I mean, Melvin Gordon at 8,700, 27.4, 15.4, 27.6, and 23.1 fantasy points in his first 4 weeks. And a guy who's really had limited carries, right? He hasn't had a game where he's just absolutely pounding the ball between the tackles. He's splitting time with Eckler, and you wonder if they can keep up the pace. This is the week that I'm not looking for him to drop off. I mean, the Raiders don't have a great defense. Losing, Mack was not something that boosted their defense. It took away from it. They don't have a great secondary. And then this is like a history thing, too. Melvin Gordon has gone off against the Raiders. He's had great success against the Raiders in the past. You look back last year, one game he goes 17 for 93. Then he has 6 catches for 31 yards. The second time they played, 25 carries for 83 yards, 9 catches for 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's way more involved in the offense. I keep saying this week in and week out when I keep picking Melvin Gordon as a running back play. The guy said he's in the best shape he's ever been, and he's never come into a season feeling as healthy as he felt coming into this one. And it's shown. It's shown from game 1 through game 4. We're already in week 5, and the guy is really underrated. I think what he's done and the stats he's put up so far are really underrated. I think he's very fair price at $8,700. And I think that's a game that is not going to be as popular as some of the more obvious spots on the slate, too. You're looking at Atlanta and Pittsburgh. You're looking at other spots where there's really high implied totals. This is also in the afternoon, so you're always going to have a little bit depreciated ownership when you're talking about the second half of the day. So Melvin Gordon at 8,700 is really my floor play.
Yeah, no, I definitely like Melvin Gordon this week. I mean, the guy's been, a top 3 running back so far this season. He's right there with Todd Gurley. He's getting hit pretty much 20 carries a game, 5 to 6 targets a game. And Phillip Rivers, he really likes dumping off the ball. So, I mean, we've seen Gordon get up to 10 targets in one game. I mean, this is a great spot for him. And, yeah, I'm definitely on board with the play. I like him pretty much week in and week out for sure. So I'm going to go into my last pick. I've been talking about him on the 5-pack videos, somebody I'm really high on this week. It is TJ Yeldon. I really like him this week. Right now, it's either you could pay up for Gurley, you could pay up for Gordon, you could pay up for even McCaffrey's 8,000. All these guys are 8,000 plus. Yeldon's only 6,500, so I think he's giving us a good little value right there. Fournette's out last game when Fournette left early in the game. Yeldon ended up getting 21 touches, 14 rushes, 7 targets, got 2 touchdowns. So the guy is definitely going to get some work. Even they're not favored. They're minus what is it, 5 or something? KC's favored. They're supposed to be up in this game. So even if they get down, if the Jags get down a little bit, TJ Yeldon's still going to be in there. He's going to get those pass targets as well. He's proven that he can catch some balls out the backfield. And Denver's running backs, they just absolutely destroyed Kansas City's defense last week. They had an absolute field day. Against the KC defense. It's not very good. So, I mean, you see every single week, KC is putting up a ton of points, but they're having to put those points up because their defense isn't very good. They're not stopping anybody. So I really like Yeldon this week. I think he's in a really good spot with Fournette out. I definitely think he gives you a solid floor for your cash games at a very fair price tag. He's going to be my final pick at running back.
Yeah, Kansas City 28th in the league against the rush. They have not been good against the rush at all this season. They, like you said, Denver got after it and destroyed their defense. Really kept that game from being probably a blowout or a more high, I won't say a blowout, a higher scoring game, right? That game could have been a lot higher scoring, but the ability of, and I think that's what teams are going to start looking to do. The NFL is a copycat league, and when somebody lays out a game plan that works, then the other teams are going to copy that game plan. I think the running game and trying to slow this offense down is what you do if you're playing Kansas City. They have so many weapons. You just try to figure out how to grind the game down and use that really bad rush defense of Kansas City's against them. And you would really like Leonard Fournette if he was healthy. TJ Yeldon, I get, right? And anytime, I said this earlier, anytime a running back goes out early in the week and it's an obvious place to save money when you're building your lineups, the guy's going to be somewhat of a popular play because you can just go ahead and load up Yeldon, who is going to be starting this week. He's at a depreciated price because he is starting. It's opportunity and value, right? The one thing I'll add to the Yeldon pick is Corey Grant's a guy that I like this week. I just think that Corey Grant may get a red zone opportunity. I don't trust Blake Bortles. I just don't trust Blake Bortles. And TJ Yeldon's a good play. Blake Bortles will also need to have a good day for TJ Yeldon to have a really big day. If neither one of them don't have a good day, I love Corey Grant. Don't take this to the point where you want to load Corey Grant up in 50 or 60% of your lineups. But if you're building 10 or 15 lineups, put Corey Grant in one or two of them as your flex play. I think it's a good spot for Jacksonville running backs. I think that's my main point. I do get the TJ Yeldon play 6,500, and my kind of takes me to my McCaffrey comments too. TJ Yeldon is a really good example of what is available at running back this week. You don't have to spend all the way up in tournaments this week at your running back spots. There's guys there. Now lead me to my next pick, which is Bridia for the 49ers. Arizona 31st against the rush. You got Aaron, and I already gave you Aaron Jones at 6,100. You gave TJ Yeldon at 6,500. We look at Bridia at 6,200. 41 carries, 313 yards, and a touchdown. He had the monster game against Detroit, where he had 138 yards on 11 carries. Like I said, Arizona 31st in the league against the run. Arizona's 20th. Their defense is 20th in red zone defense as far as touchdown percentage. 60% of the time that teams get in the red zone, they score a touchdown. CJ Beathard, if you look back to last year, his best friend is the running back. Carlos Hyde was his number one receiver. He checked the ball down and constantly threw the ball to the running back last year, and Carlos Hyde was the beneficiary of that. Obviously, no Carlos Hyde this year. Brady has shown he has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's also, like I said earlier in the video with the 5-pack guys, this guy is an explosive guy who doesn't have a lot of attention around him because he came from a very small college. He's not a big D1 running back who came into the league with a bunch of attention and notoriety. He's a guy who came in the league off the radar, has worked his way up. Carlos Hyde leaves. Now it's his turn. So I like this guy a lot. I like the running backs that are in the $6,000 price range this week. Not to say I don't like the two guys at the top, because I think they're very floor safe as well. But you don't have to spend up this week at running back. There's plenty of value on the board there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like the play. I mean, I've been hearing it a couple of times already the past couple of days. You've been on the guy for sure. So, if you like him, fair price. I definitely think I'm gonna throw him in a couple of GPP lineups. Gives us a little bit of upside going against Arizona, like you said, horrible against the run game. So yeah, definitely like the pick. And I mean, that's all I really got for running back. You got anything else for us? We have any questions? Real quick before we get into that, hey, we got our NBA season package is up right now. Take advantage of the pre-order special today. We actually just launched NBA with our optimizer, so you can actually run some preseason lines for NBA as well. Make sure and check that out at www.dfscheatsheet.com. We got a ton of really exciting things going on right now. Definitely join the money team. And hey, I mean, that's it. That's it for running back. You good?
Yeah, man. The one thing that I'll add to what you're saying, I'll add a couple of things. One, with the running back position, this is a really good tournament week, and as we get deeper into this, you're going to see pricing really start to bundle up, and that's probably one of my favorite things about playing tournaments is once pricing starts to bundle up and you got guys who are in good spots, you just build one lineup, build a second lineup, trade a guy out who's the same price. This week at running backs, there's so much value on the board that it gives you a good opportunity to go up and get some of these higher priced guys in these really high over-under games. Case in point, Atlanta, we giving you guys Julio Jones. We'll get into our quarterback video tomorrow, but I can guarantee you that there's going to be quarterbacks in our quarterback video from that game because it's just a no-brain spot. I think the running back position this week is not a place in tournaments that you need to really pay up for. Of the 3 spots, you can probably put value in your flex. And I say 3 spots because of the flex spot, but you can probably put value in your flex spot and your RB2 spot this week and feel really comfortable with a guy who's going to get starter reps and starter carries.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm ready for this week. I'm liking how it's shaping out. I think it's going to be a solid week. Can't wait to use the optimizer and lines for our GPP plays. And hey, man, that's all I got. All right. So I'm out. I'm about to get ready for this evening. Peace out. All right. Hey, take care, Jeremy. Take care of everybody out there tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for that quarterback video. Late.